the more you allow yourself ways to express it rather than to project it, and ways to internalize and understand that this has nothing to do with the illusion, nothing to do with the activity or the person you're around, but everything to do with the reflection. Welcome back to One's journey of unwinding the mind, and of course, your daily microdose. Now tune in to the latest episode of One's journey. Today I want to talk about the joy and the love we begin to feel from this untying of the ego and this immense just oneness and love that we will experience. And at first, though, in untying the ego, we've lived from the ego belief system for so long, our entire lives. We've lived in this place of fear and waiting for the other shoe to drop, and life is hard. And I mean, it goes to the Brene Brown where she talks about that if we're watching a movie and the family's in like this immense joy and they're singing Christmas carols, and then the camera pans away, and what's our immediate thought? That they're going to get hit by a vehicle or some sort of catastrophe is going to happen. And what I've come to find out in regards to that, before I just thought it was we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I think what it actually is that joy we feel and that immense love in that moment is so freaking uncomfortable that we need comfort again. And our comfort is the place of the ego, is that place of fear and pain and suffering and separation. I talk about how we are not afraid of the darkness, friend. We live in the darkness. We are truly afraid of our light. So what I find happening with my clients and with myself is that immense love, when you first start to experience it, is overwhelming. It feels joyous, but it feels so uncomfortable. It almost feels inappropriate at times. I remember some of the first times I really started experiencing this was even before I was untying the ego. And it really goes back to when I was diagnosed with bipolar. And afterwards, I would feel this immense sense of love and just one with everyone. And I would send these beautiful messages to people and I would talk to strangers. But then, of course, that was seen as I was manic. But my question is that really the case? And as I started to intentionally untie the ego, and I had been dismissed from the diagnosis of bipolar for over a decade by that point, I started to experience that again. But it was this much more heightened and less chaotic experience of it. And I think the reason why it gets chaotic is because we are used to the chaos. So we bring in all this chaos, right? When people are in this manic state, this state of immense love and energy, they can't just sit in it. So they try to externalize it. They try to project it everywhere. That's what we do, friend. So granted, it feels joyous, that love and that peace, but it is so uncomfortable. So what do we immediately try to do? We try to project it out, or we try to bring us back to a state of suffering or separation by creating certainty in the uncertainty. I have some clients that what they tend to do is they go back to the relationship they've used in the past for comfort. So whether that is another human being, or that is alcohol, or that is shopping, but to immediately try to externalize that immense love. But the key is to start to sit in it, to cultivate it, and to allow yourself to get comfortable in that uncomfort. Because again, you are not afraid of your darkness, friend. We are not trying to stay away from the darkness, because instead we're trying to just embrace our innate state, which is love, but it doesn't feel innate to us. It feels so foreign and so overwhelming that we immediately want to project it out. So my encouragement to you is, when you feel it, is to just really embrace the whole feeling of it. And if it starts to get so comfortable, try to find an outlet that is healthy. and a healthy projection. So whether that's journaling or video logging or going for a walk or doing something loving for yourself, but instead of projecting it out by doing something that could negatively impact you or bring you back to a place of separation and sacrifice, no, this love I'm feeling is for the love of God. It is for the love of oneness. Remind yourself of that. Because when we try to project it out on another person, and sometimes this happens with me, I'll be with Patrick and I'll just feel this immense love for him. And at the beginning of our relationship, it was almost like the high highs and then it would be followed by the low lows. So where I've really gotten is when I'm feeling that immense love for another human being or a certain thing, I bring myself back to truth. And the truth is that love I'm actually experiencing right now is the love of God. It is nothing in this illusion is responsible for it. And nothing in this illusion can create it or take it away. It is all within me and I am experiencing truth. So though I gave you some different things to do, this will be all dependent on what works best for you, but really pay attention to that immense love and allowing yourself to cultivate this beautiful relationship with it. Because if we just continuously project it back out or create another shoe to drop, then again, we're getting further from what our outcome we want is. And our outcome is to live in that all of the time. And just like an example. It's been a while now, but I decided I was going to start eating with chopsticks. I decided it was like a new way of mind discipline. And to be honest, I've always wanted to be able to use chopstick in an appropriate manner, or not appropriate, but like functional manner. And so I set out on that journey. But at first, it was so uncomfortable. And the only way I moved through that discomfort was to lean in and to embrace it and to give myself grace and to not get frustrated and project it out like by not eating or grabbing a fork, but just going with it. And now I use chopsticks for everything. I eat my popcorn with chopsticks. It's kind of a fun adventure if you're up for it. But that is the key to this. Like, a new way of being always feels uncomfortable at the beginning. But if we immediately replace it with the comfort, then we're never going to create that uncomfortability to be comfortable. So know you're not alone in this. Don't create more shame and guilt for feeling so uncomfortable when you are filled with love and joy. Instead, get curious and create a plan. Create a backup list. I have my clients create this list of potential activities they can do to disperse this love in a manner that isn't projecting or owning that it has to do with this activity or person, but instead a beautiful outlet to express it, right? There's a difference, express versus project. So painting, I love to paint, drawing, doing a video recording, like I said earlier, or journaling. Any of those things are beautiful options to allow you to continue to learn how to cultivate and really sit in that place, because it's overwhelming. I think of the times that I experienced it early on. An example is people. When you meet people and you start to feel this immense love, your mind immediately wants to go to, I am romantically attracted to them, because that's all we've been taught, is that the strongest love, which is nowhere near the love of God, is that of a romantic love. So I was meeting friends and stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm falling in love with this person. I feel this love for this person that is so strong. Really? I'm seeing the reflection of God in them, and I'm being reminded of the love of God. So be careful with that, because you can start to go down this whole rabbit hole, and that again goes back to the projection. Instead of owning this immense feeling I'm feeling is for God, it has nothing to do with this illusion, and it is what I'm experiencing internally, reminding me where I'm actually at, which is with God. Friend, I hope this video helps you out in those super uncomfortable times, but the place in which we are working towards of untying the ego. I hope that you feel less alone in this. I know I felt a little kind of kooky at first, but the reality is it's a part of the journey, and that immense love and joy and peace will feel more and more comfortable for you the more you allow yourself ways to express it rather than to project it, and ways to internalize and understand that this has nothing to do with the illusion, nothing to do with the activity or the person you're around, but everything to do with the reflection of what's the true state, which is the love of God and that you are at home in heaven. Have you ever had any of these awkward moments and you're like, this is weird? And I would love to hear as well, have you had any of these super discomfortable moments and then you felt shame and guilt because, I'm ungrateful that I'm at this place of love? Don't fall into that trap either. Just give yourself grace. It's a part of the journey. As always, share if you have any questions or potential episodes you would like to be covered. And reminder that the highest level, the Right Minded Thinker Patreon member, once a month we have a live discussion and it is powerful. And Patrick is also a part of that. We love it. It's one Sunday a month, usually the first Sunday, and we would love to see you there. If you can't make it, they are recorded and accessible to the Right Minded Thinker. But as always, friend, remember you are worth it. Until next time, bye.